Good morning. Another beautiful day in God's kingdom. Yesterday, we were looking at Absalom, Prince Absalom, as he began to steal the hearts of the people of Israel away from his father David. And ultimately, he went ahead to declare himself king. So, David, his father, the king, had to flee from the palace and get out of the city as quickly as he could. So let's continue the story today from verse 23. So we're in 2 Samuel chapter 15, reading from verse 23. It says, "The whole countryside wept aloud as all the people passed by. The king also crossed the Kidron Valley, and all the people moved on toward the wilderness. Zadok the priest was there too, and all the Levites who were with him, carrying the ark of the covenant of God. And they set down the ark of God, and Abiathar offered sacrifices until all the people had finished leaving the city. And then the king said to Zadok the priest, he said, 'Take the ark of God back into the city. If I find favor in the Lord's eyes, he will bring me back, and let me see it and his dwelling place again. But if God says, I am not pleased with you, then I am ready. Let God do to me whatever seems good to him.'" And this is David, King David, saying, look, the Ark of the Covenant, even though I would love it to be with me, take it back into the city. I mean, if you read the story before this, you'd have stories before this, you'd have seen how David sacrificed so much to get the Ark of the covenant back into the place, that city. And now he was saying, you know what, leave it there, take it back in there, don't bring the ark of the covenant with me. And as we look at that, you can't help but think, and I kind of look back to the whole year of the pandemic, or the many months of the pandemic and lockdowns that we had, where all of us couldn't go into so many of us in many nations across the earth couldn't go into a church building. We had to be in our homes and have church from home. And David understood this principle very well, that it wasn't really about having the Ark of the Covenant physically there with him. It was about having God in his heart and having a relationship with Christ. That meant that no matter where he was, he knew that his relationship with Christ was solid. His relationship with God, was solid. And in the same way, for us as children of God, we need to have that understanding that, look, it's not really, and we've learned that, haven't we, that it's not really about the church building. It's not about, all the props and all that. It is about us having a relationship with Christ in our hearts. And once that is settled and that is clear, then it doesn't matter where we are. We can worship God, and we can have a thriving, growing, deep relationship with God, because he lives in our hearts. He's not in the buildings, he's not in the in the equipment, he's not in any of those things, but he lives inside of us. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.